Hello, welcome along to Sportsbet TV with me, Paul Alster, as I look forward now to the final day of the 2024 Cheltenham Festival on Friday, the 15th of March. Do press the subscribe button just below this screen if you're new to our YouTube service. I give all my recommendations and analysis free of charge, and every weekend I'm with you, as well as all the big festivals. We had an interesting day on Thursday. Anna Bonina, who I recommended at 50 to 1 in the Patemps, she was back down to about half those odds, and she actually ran a really good race. She came through horses in the closing stages to finish 7th. Now, I recommended for the first 6 places, so actually I can't really claim a place an each way bet there, but I know that such as Sky Bet were paying 8 places actually as it transpired. So I do hope that some of you were on at 50, 40 or 33 to 1 or whatever for the 8 places. Anna Bonina, who stuck to her task as I said she would. Such a brave mare, coming home very well indeed. She'll win a nice race before too long, you'll see, especially on better ground. And then just before I've come on to record this message, we've had the final race of the afternoon, the Kim Muir. And my selection there, Daily Present, well, I recommended each way 6 places, and thankfully for the first time this week, he's just scraped in. Recommended at 14 to 1, finished 6th in the end. And that's a little bit of a change of fortune because De Capo Glory on Wednesday was the first 6, and he just got run out of it in 7th. So while we haven't had a winner, we've got a little bit of money back with Daily Present. And if you were on with 1 or 2 specific firms, you would have got a very nice each way bet as well on Anna Bonina, recommended at 50 to 1. Now, I've got 2 for you for the final day of Cheltenham, but I'm recommending 5 horses over at my subscription service Out in Front, which on Thursday came up trumps with a lovely winner in Shake 'em Up Harry, who I put up at 10 to 1, and he went away and won really nicely to go with a really nice place bet as well earlier on in the afternoon. So if you want to be part of that, there's still time to get involved at Cheltenham. And then, of course, going forward, we've got so much great racing. The start of the Flat on Turf, we've got Aintree, we've got brilliant racing in Ireland, and then the build-up to the Craven Meeting and the Guineas and all the rest of it, as well as all the other big end-of-season jumps cards. So do think about joining me. It's been going really well, and it'd be nice to have you on board. And you can find out how to join by just clicking on the description box below this screen, and there's a link there to the Out in Front website. Right, Cheltenham 210 on Friday, the 2-mile county handicap hurdle. As you very well know, I never shirk a challenge. I tend to go for these very big handicap races, and there are 22 set to go. And this race, of course, was a stellar moment, really, for those that were on my Out in Front service last year, where I recommended at 66 to 1 Favour, who got up and beat my recommendation here at Sportsbet, which was Pied Piper. He was just nosed out of it, Pied Piper, by Favour, and the forecast was about 1,000 to 1 or something ridiculous, which apparently 1 or 2 of my followers were on. I wasn't. So this race has been really kind to us. And Favour is a horse I'd love to be able to tip again. He ran a blinder at Sandown last Saturday in the Imperial Cup. He went clear. He traded very long odds on in running, and he just got done right on the lolly, right on the line, running an absolutely brilliant race, beating a nose. Now, it was heavy ground at Sandown, and while he loves testing ground, to have 2 really tough races in this kind of ground in the space of 6 days is asking a lot. But, of course, he's trained by Dan Skelton, who's having a brilliant Cheltenham. I think he's already had 4 winners. So Favour, I think, will go well, but whether that run on Saturday has taken the edge of him, we'll have to wait and see. Now, Dan Skelton's also got the Betfair Hurdle runner-up, a horse who loves heavy ground, L'Eau du Sud, in the John Hales colours that were carried to victory by Protectorat in the Ryanair chase on Thursday. And this one's gone up £6 for a really good run behind Iberico Lord at Newbury in the Betfair. He's got conditions perfect. He's got 10 stone 7, a nice racing weight. and his trainer is an absolute master in handicaps, as we already know. Now, Gordon Elliot has had a nice winner on Thursday. Nice to see him getting one on the board after going close quite a few times. He's got 5 in this. The pick of them probably King of Kingsfield. Very, very classy novice. Grade 1 place behind Farron Glory, and most particularly behind the very, very exciting Ballyburn. So off a mark of 140 on his handicap bow, you could argue that he's got him quite lightly. We'll find out. I think more than his weight, it's a question of whether he'll cope with the rigours of a really rough and ready 22 runner handicap hurdle with some very tough and talented handicappers. Among the other runners from the yard is last year's very narrow runner up, Pied Piper, who was recommended here at Sportsbet. He got beaten a nose. Now, he's got top weight this year. He was entered in the champion hurdle, and they decided late on not to run. And there's every chance that he is going to run a very, very big race here, despite the weight. Hansard is an interesting runner for Gary Moore, a horse I think who's going to love the ground. And he beat Master Chewy, who's a decent performer at Plumpton last January, and he ran very well behind Lucia, who has gone on to finish 3rd in the champion hurdle this week. So on that form, he would have a good shout. Willie Mullins also runs 5 in the race. He's got Bialystok, who was very unlucky, I thought, when he was brought down 2 out in a pile-up at the Dublin Festival in a hot handicap hurdle. He's also got Absurd, who was 4th to Ballyburn, no less, in a Grade 1 last time. And he's got Zenta, who finished 3rd in the race, where there was that melee at Leopardstown. So she could go very well. Another Irish raider with a big chance is Magical Zoe, who was 2nd in the Leopardstown handicap hurdle. And she's a very, very classy mare. She's been placed in very hot graded races. This really is a very good renewal of the county hurdle. But as I mentioned, I'll be backing 2 in the race. The one at bigger odds I'm suggesting here, and I'm surprised at the odds, I've got to be honest. The horse is one of Gordon Elliott's runners called By Your Side, and it's the mount of Jake Cohen, who claims £3. Of course, he's made his name as a very talented apprentice rider on the flat, riding, I think, for Johnny Murter, amongst others. But he's beginning to make a name for himself now over hurdles as well. And this By Your Side just didn't get the best of runs in a really good handicap hurdle at Leopardstown last time, but still shaped well despite being hampered in at the second last when there were those fallers, finishing 7th. And I think he would have got a lot closer. And he's just probably going to have things run to suit him here, because prior to that, he'd run really well when he was 2nd in the listed Bar 1 Racing handicap hurdle at Fairyhouse, and again had found only 1-2 good for him when he was runner-up at the Christmas meeting at Leopardstown to a horse called One Lost Tango, who's a pretty up-and-coming handicapper. So I think this horse is improving. I think the end-to-end gallop, which is almost guaranteed, is going to suit him. And if he gets luck in running and is able to weave through, then I think he's going to run really well. And I was shocked to see him 6-1 each way at the time of this recording, and that's available for 6 places with Bet365 and Bet UK as well. So I'll be having a bid on him at those odds, along with my other recommendation, which is going to be available at Out in Front. So we've gone for a really big one in the county hurdle on Friday, 66-1. And then the last race of the meeting at Cheltenham, the 5:30 on Friday, the Martin Pipe handicap hurdle. It's always a hugely tough race, especially it's the getting out stakes for so many trainers and jockeys, and of course the punters. And there are a host of horses with chances. It's a conditional jockeys race. Nicky Henderson very nearly won it with Ordinary Joe, No Ordinary Joe last year. And if the form of the Seven Barrows horses had been better, I would have been confident about him going close here. But you just can't be confident about any of Nicky's horses at the moment. And I wish him well, and I hope that whatever's ailing them is behind them very, very quickly, and he gets them ready and set to run and do really well at Aintree in a few weeks' time. Willie Mullins has got the Clonmel winner, Cada Bourdon, in a handicap for the first time off 140. Could it be another one that could be well handicapped? But this hasn't been a good race for favourites, and he's very, very prominent in the betting. As two is Henry de Bromhead's Waterford Whispers. Henry's had another really good week, won the Champion Chase, and been on the mark elsewhere. And this horse was a very good runner-up at Leopardstown at the end of December. So a couple there that you should consider. And there are any number of horses that could pop up here. Um, Gordon Elliot, I think, has got a very strong hand. He's got better days ahead. I think he could perform well. Yates Star is another one, dropping back in trip from 3 miles. But my selection here is Gordon Elliott's runner, What's Up Darling. What's Up Darling is the name of the horse. And this one, I just think he's going to run a really, really nice race. And he was a winner over 2 miles in Grade 3 company earlier in the season. He ran a very good fifth in the Royal Bond at Fairyhouse. And last time out, he conceded a stone when he was second to Langtree Lady. So I think the form looks good. This is a horse that is improving. It will almost certainly handle the ground, and 16 to 1 is available each way for 5 places with plenty of firms. So this is one of the 2 I'm going to be backing in this race. The other one is available if you join us out in front. So What's Up Darling? I hope What's Up is that we'll have a nice winner, or at least have some horses go very close on the final day at Cheltenham. So good to see us getting a bit of each way for daily present. Some of you might have got a bit of the each way at the 50s or big odds Anna Bonina if your bookmaker was particularly generous with the place terms. But that's going to be it for Cheltenham 2024. It's never easy, and with so many hot favourites and Willie Mullins running riot, it's been a particularly challenging meeting, but it's always fantastic fun, and I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm not going to be tipping for Saturday. I think we've had enough for 1 week. But we'll be back next weekend as usual with my selection. So have a great weekend. Enjoy Friday. I hope you make a few bob, and I'll see you next week.